When people go to work, they shouldn't have to leave their hearts at home. Wow, how powerful is that? I don't think I ever understood how much it means to those you lead when you care about the people and the things that they care about the most. Unfortunately, it took me way too long to realize this fact. A few years ago, when an employee was moving on to a different stage in life, she told me how much it meant to her that I always asked about her son. She started tearing up and told me that I was the most caring boss she had ever worked for. I don't tell you this to boast because in that moment, I realized how many other opportunities that I had missed over the years. And you may be thinking, well, duh, you should have been doing that all along, and you are 100% correct. I should have. But I must admit, it does not come naturally to me. It's something I must make a conscious decision to do. Like many, I can sometimes have tunnel vision on what I need to get done. Stick with me until the end of the video. I have a beautiful story I want to share about one of my teachers who perfectly displayed making it personal. In order to build a rewarding employee experience, you need to understand what matters most to your people. When someone asks about my personal loved ones by name or follows up on a situation I shared with them, I'm thankful and shocked at the same time. I am amazed that they remembered something about me personally that I had shared with them. When this happens, it tells me that the person not only cares about me as their boss, but they also care about me as a person. How much more powerful do you think this is to those you lead? We all know that when employees miss work, it can put a strain on the business and other employees, but an employee should never be made to feel bad for putting their family before the job. Of course, there will always be those who abuse taking time off, but for the majority, this is not the case. I always tell my staff, at the end of the day, a job is just a job, but time with your family will never be a regret. I also say you will never look back and say, I wish I would have spent more time at work instead of with my family. When employees have a healthy work-life balance, they will want to stay at their job and will perform better. According to the 2022 Gallup survey, employees who feel cared about by their bosses are 71% less likely to report burnout and 3 times more likely to be engaged at work. In addition, workers are 36% more likely to say they are thriving in their overall lives. Kim Scott, author of Radical Respect, defines what caring personally is and is not. Caring personally is about finding time for real conversations, getting to know each other at the human level, learning what's important to people, sharing with one another what makes us want to get out of bed in the morning and go to work, and what has the opposite effect. Caring personally is not about memorizing birthdays and the names of family members, nor is it about sharing the sordid details of one's personal life or forced chit-chat at social events that you'd rather not attend. Caring for what your employees care about should be a priority and not an afterthought. This is one of the qualities that makes a great leader. Someone people not only want to follow, but are also motivated to work hard for. If you want to improve in this area, here are a few practical tips. Number 1, and most importantly, you should view your employees as actual people, not just someone who works for you. They are a person first and an employee second. Remember to treat them as a person and not an end to a means. If you struggle to remember details, names, or other things that your employees are dealing with, keep notes. I don't mean type it or write it while they're sharing. Just keep a mental note until you have a chance to jot it down somewhere. You can also set reminders to check up on the people at a later time. I know you may be thinking that sounds cold, but it's not. The truth is you do care, and that is why you're writing it down. Schedule time daily to be where your employees are. Get on the ground floor, in the bullpen, or go to the warehouse. Wherever your employees are, make time to be there too. Not to check up on them, but to come into their world for a while. This not only lets them know that you care enough to visit them, but it also reminds you of the hard work and dedication that is put in daily. Don't go in with an agenda, just go to check in. Ask how they are doing. Ask how you can help. Follow up on previous conversations held, and ask how they do a certain task. I don't get into classrooms enough, but when I pop in to see what's going on in the room, I'm always amazed and blown away by what I see in a good way. It also makes me appreciate how hard the staff works. Sometimes being out and about will allow you to get a glimpse of beautiful things. This week, there was a student who came in late and was upset no one could get the kindergartner to stop crying. So another staff member traded out with the teacher to see if she could get him to class. This required the teacher to leave her class of students and walk to the other side of the school. She could have been frustrated with the situation, but when the teacher approached the child, she did not say anything. She got on her knees and simply embraced and consoled the child. She did not say, "Get to class, stop crying," or even "It's going to be okay." She met him where he was and gave him what he needed in that moment. After a few seconds, he stopped crying, she stood up, and they walked to class together. I saw her later that day in the cafeteria and thanked her for helping the child to class and for showing so much care and compassion toward the student. She seemed a little embarrassed and said, "Oh, I didn't even know anyone was watching," and then said, "I just gave him some mama's love." It was so simple for her. How I wish I could have captured that moment on camera. Why do I tell you this story? To remind you that your employees do amazing things every day that you will never see or know about. To remind you that your employees are able to perform to their highest potential when they feel valued and cared about as a human and not just an employee. Never underestimate the power that care and compassion have on people. Showing you care is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of confidence and strength. Care about what your people care about, and you will not regret it. Thank you for joining Great to Lead. I hope you leave this video feeling inspired to care about your employees more deeply. What you do as a leader matters. Show your employees how much you care. My challenge to you this week is to step out of your comfort zone and out of your office to be where your people are. Be real, be transparent, and be you. Your employees want and need to see that side of you. Next week's topic is, in the end, all decisions ride on your shoulders, no matter who makes them.